Hey everybody, I'm Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy and welcome. It's the personal prospecting thing has been top of mind for a long period of time. And while we went through the pandemic and the inventory shortage, it just wasn't that top of mind, right? When you didn't have any product on the ground, it was like, why would we worry about prospecting at all, Bill? And it was one of the challenges that I had when reaching out to clients and saying, hey, look, we don't want to stop training. This is a magnificent time to really sharpen our saw and improve our abilities just to do the very job of selling automobiles. And make no mistake, there will be a time when the manufacturers catch up with the chip shortage and we start getting product on a regular basis. And unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. I understand most of us are starting to see a regular supply of product. However, in the rural markets, for those of you that are in rural markets, still a little bit of a struggle. Still a lot of asphalt out there and white lined empty spaces, and I get it. However, you do have a lot of opportunity with allotment, and so we can continue to do what we've done for the past 2.5 years, especially at the peak of the inventory shortage, taking orders. And it all starts with our personal prospecting. The personal prospecting really begins with media. That's the message I want to drive home here. And I really hope we're on the same page and we're aligned on that you came into this session looking for ways that you can do personal prospecting that are scalable, that happen when you're asleep, when you're out there selling automobiles, doing other things, when you're even out for dinner, when you're even out doing some kind of recreation with friends, that your prospecting efforts are constantly in play and working. And the first place that it starts, the very first place, is with a platform. So I'm not going to pick a specific platform for you to choose. You can find that in step number 9, leveraging apps and technology, the Manifesto. I'll put a link down below if you want to learn more about the Manifesto. Jump on a call with me and let me tell you all about it. So what I want to share with you here in the brief time that we have with us is something that you can do immediately after this live session ends, and that is to create content. Now, I know this is the elephant in the room. This is the part where I lose everybody. This is the part where you shut down and you don't want anything to do with it because like, oh, Bill, what am I going to create? Well, let me tell you this much. Before I tell you what to create, you need to know why. And that is that content is king. Start by creating content that engages and showcases your expertise and your excitement and passion for automobiles, which includes power sport. For those of you that are in power sport, and make no mistake, for all of you, those of you that are in automobile and retail automobile specifically, which is what this group is dedicated to, I'm also attracting power sport because for those of you in automobile sales, power sport are at $30, $40, $60, and $70,000 products now. So they're selling little tiny automobiles exactly like you are selling everyday automobiles for people to get to and from work. So content and becoming not an influencer, don't worry about that. And let's take the term social media and just lop social off, and it's called media. This is what gives you an advantage over everyone else in your competitive space. The media that you can inexpensively, like we're talking organically. Organically is a fancy word in marketing and advertising, and I don't want to lose you, and I don't want to baffle or buffoon you, and I don't want to use 25-cent words where a 5-cent word will do. Media is simply advertising platforms that we're getting our message out so that we're top of mind when friends, family, and the cold market out there, cold leads, think about buying an automobile, it's you they think about. That's what will get you into the double digits. This is the one thing that you can do that's actually really enjoyable because I know you're thumbing through your feed all the time. The statistic is a month of thumbing through your feed is the equivalent of walking a mile. Can you believe that? How much does your thumb travel across that screen as we're doing that all the time? It doesn't really matter. Don't worry about answering that question. The bottom line is content is king. What I'm going to share with you today is what content you can do ultra easily on the one platform. The one platform that you like to use. If you like Facebook, that's it. Let's become a specialist on that. If you like YouTube, let's become a specialist on that. If you love Instagram, become a specialist on Instagram. If you love TikTok, just do it on TikTok. If you love Twitter. I don't know why we blanked for a second there. If that is your jam, then do it on that platform. But the secret is the content. So let's talk about content and what you can populate on there, because that is what I find is the greatest hurdle when I'm talking to any one of you. What do I post, Bill? What should I say? I know the reason why you don't is twofold. Number one, you don't want to look foolish. And number two, you don't want to waste anybody's time because you've watched the crap and seen the garbage that is out there. And you think to yourself, yeah, what a load of malarkey. What a load of gobbledygook. And have you been that naysayer? Have you been that negative Nelly? And you text into them, hey, that was terrible. That was dumb. That was silly. Dress this way. Don't eat that. Keep your mouth shut when you're eating. Don't yawn without covering your mouth. That sort of thing. That's fine. If you feel you're being helpful to that individual, but you know what's holding you back? You're worried that is going to come back to you. And stop worrying about it. Don't think anything of it. Even if you weren't worried about it, I hope I haven't cast some doubt for you that, another reason why I shouldn't cast myself out there. You need to. Just don't pick those compromising situations that could invite some hater publicity. But I don't think we're going to. Everything I'm going to share with you is simple and straightforward. Heck, the manufacturer spends millions. Look, make no mistake, your manufacturer gets gorgeous looking models in magnificent scenery and perfectly polished automobiles, and they still get bad feedback. So don't worry about that. Start with your customer testimonials. That is probably the easiest content that you can share with others, because what we're after to be top of mind is that know, like, and trust badge of honor. Make no mistake. If a customer is emailing in, if they're calling on the phone, and certainly if they're walking in the dealership, they have transcended a buying process. I've shared this with you before. Scroll down and have a look at some of the other feeds and watch some of the other videos. But here, very quickly, high level, customers thought about it, talked about it, researched the marketplace. If they're calling in or emailing in, they could be at the tail end of the research phase. Make no mistake, it's not at the very beginning. I have lots of research and data to support that, and happy to share that with you. Drop a comment below, I will send it to you. But the bottom line is, as the customer's transcending this buying process and they're getting to the point where, keep in mind, if they're emailing you, if they're calling you, or if they've walked in, they have gone through all 5 steps. They're now ready to talk to you. And you have the ability to talk people into colors they don't like, features that they don't want, payments they can't afford. So they are a little bit worried about talking to you because you're so good at creating the emotion, the excitement, that you can leverage these testimonials of other people who have enjoyed the process. And I'm not talking about taking a picture of a delivery and they're smiling, standing in front of the car. That's fantastic. And yes, you should do that. I'm talking about when they get the customer experience score, when they get your customer satisfaction indicator, take that feedback. And if it isn't perfect, great. Nobody is going to believe that you have 10 out of 10 success with 10 customers every single time, all the time. They're going to think you told them on delivery, I need completely satisfied filled out. And if for whatever reason you cannot give me completely satisfied, please tell me ahead of time so we can make it right before you fill out the survey. That's covert. I know we need to do it because the words, the semantics are picked specifically for that reason. Ford used to have, do you love your salesperson? Do you love your dealer? Do you love the product? And of course, people would say no, because it forces them to tell the truth. Completely satisfied. How many of us know that we are completely satisfied? So when you don't have a perfect score is what I'm getting at, it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. A 3 out of 5 is great because that individual goes, yeah, nobody is perfect. And then they read the follow-up, the text. And maybe the 3 out of 5 or the 7 out of 10 or the 8 out of 10 is a result of something that happened. Maybe the dealership is located in an area where construction was taking place. I spent an entire summer struggling. The reason why I came up with this prospecting with personal prospecting, and it was really different then. We didn't have social media to be able to leverage. We didn't have YouTube at 10 cents an ad to do. We didn't have Facebook at $5 an ad per day to do. We're talking about less than $150 a month. You could create ads to drive traffic to you. But I'm talking right now customer testimonials purely being organic in your feed that your friends and family, let alone your extended friendship, right? Neighbors, previous co-workers, colleagues from school that you don't keep in touch with, but they do follow you on Facebook, get to see your customer testimonials. It's that easy. You just repost, not that it was already posted, but you repurpose. That's a better way for me to put it out there. Now here's another one. Another great way for you to create content. Live Q&A sessions. Now that sounds a little bit more daunting, doesn't it? You're going to have to know how to do this. Right now, I'm live on Instagram and I'm live on Facebook. And that requires 2 devices to be able to do at the same time because the 2 don't push over. And then I will afterwards take the recordings and put them up on our YouTube channel where other people can see it. But a live Q&A session is as easy as this. You could, and I'm certain, if you've been selling automobiles for 6 months or more, you've talked to someone who is a social media, in your opinion, genius, and probably has a fantastic following, and therefore you can leverage them to do a shout out of you. And your live Q&A, you don't even have to be on there. You could just hold your phone up, filming them, and simply asking the question, what made you want to own our product? And then, what was the most outstanding feature that really captivated your attention about our product? And of all the places that you're going to go, where's the first place you're going to take your new product? And what special occasion would you dreamland like to do? So, for instance, if somebody is buying an automobile in Q4 of this year, they may be thinking about all the magnificent places it's going to take them next spring and next summer on their holidays. And that could be the reason why they're buying right now, that they've just come through that spring, summer, and maybe a friend has a better towing capacity or greater hauling or more luxurious passenger carrying room. And you can stimulate, ask that question, get terrific answers and feedback, and it's candid. Will they say, look at the ground? Maybe they'll go out of range of the camera. Don't worry about it. Though that you can film that live, and then it is a piece of content that you can continue to repurpose all the way along. You don't want to do it every week, but you could do it every quarter. And of course, depending on how much you're doing this with frequency, as you get more confident with it, because that's what we're talking about, right? This is the confidence competence loop. Once I build your confidence up with how to do it, then you'll get better at it building your competence. And you can use this live Q&A over and over and over and over in your feed to be top of mind. Now, I briefly mentioned, I'm going to go on to my 4th bullet point, marketplace ads. If for whatever reason you are not having a lot of traction with organic, you feel like organic is just an enormous amount of work, that you're posting regularly, like me, 4 times a day, 7 days a week, and it's just overwhelming, it's bewildering, it's just too much, you're not spending enough time answering your phones, you're not spending enough time on the floor, then buy some ads. It's as simple as that. You could do a Facebook ad campaign for as little as $5 a day. Now, let's put that into perspective. We're talking about $35 a week. We're talking about less than $150 per month. Depending on where you are, I think at 8 automobiles per month, that's not a great investment. But at 18, trying to get to 25 and 28, or at 22 and trying to get into 35 and 40, this is how it has to happen. You cannot rely on the dealership alone, their advertising efforts, as well as your OE's advertising efforts, to get the up bus to unload a bunch of qualified buyers anxious to purchase just from you. Look, a bus only holds 45 people anyhow. You need to reach out to the marketplace. You determine that. I'm not saying you have to. You will determine that you need to reach out to the marketplace and buy some YouTube in-stream ads. In-stream ads are fantastic. They're the ad that you see in the very beginning where you skip over it so you can get to the television show that you would like to see. It could cost as little as 10 cents to be able to do that. Now, if they watch the whole entire advertisement, then yes, it will be a little bit higher budget. But again, it comes down to how much money that you want to invest in that. And this is what will build your network. This is what will propel your career into 20s, 30s, and 40s. It really is this easy. These tactics I'm sharing with you, the flywheel that you start spinning in order to be able to accomplish that. Now, YouTube. You know YouTube is owned by Google, right? When Google owned when somebody searches for something on YouTube, Google does all the SEO for your video ad or just your videos. Just something as simple as a video showroom tour. So imagine this. Somebody says that they want to buy your product in showroom right now. They don't want to wait. They don't want to order. They're looking at the entire marketplace. They're prepared to drive 3, 4, 5 hours to see your product because they type your product in showroom. They want to know that it's on the ground. Well, if you did a virtual showroom tour on a frequent basis, demonstrating that you have inventory, did you just accomplish what all the search engine spiders are looking for in order to deliver the information to that individual who wants to know who has your product on ground in the showroom? That's how amazing this media platform is. You cannot do that with newsprint. You could not do that with radio, and dream on about television. The reason why we couldn't do any of this before is that the technology had not evolved to the level, and it required the internet to be able to accomplish this. And so when anybody says, look, Bill, I don't want to be on social media. I don't want to do social media. Social media is crap. So you get haters. You get bad fan mail. Yeah, it's a waste of time. You will never know the individual that comes in and says, you were top of my mind when I thought of buying an automobile because of your virtual showroom tour on YouTube. And it takes one time to do it. Now, if you want to keep it current, you're going to consistently want to say, look at the beautiful product that we have in right now. You didn't say what make, what model, what trim level, and what features it had. I think that would be a heck of a lot better. But you could do a very superficial, very fast, less than 60-second showroom tour that always keeps you fresh with the search engine spiders so that you are top of mind when somebody thinks about buying. This is what gets you to 20, 30, and 40 automobiles per month, not traditional advertising, and certainly not standing in the showroom doors like we used to on a Saturday. I've shared that story with you before. My buddy Bruce, who had a magnificent job of reading people based on their shoes and the belt that they wore. You can reach out to those predetermined, qualified customers because of what they are searching for. Remember, Google and Facebook don't care about you and I. They don't even really care about the dollars that you want to invest with them. What they care about is delivering an experience that the user on the platform loves to have. And if that includes advertisements that play into their profile, then yes. And of course, that's what it's all about. And the personal sharing and the privacy issue and the battle that Zuckerberg and Apple have gone through, and all that is bygones. That's all behind us. We've now grown out of it, and everyone's existing, and we're not going to end tomorrow. Now, expert reviews are also a wonderful way for you to create an enormous amount of know, like, and trust. You have your customer testimonials out there. Now you want your expert reviews out there. This is where you pick automotive journalists, trusted automotive journalists, and you reshare, repost their material. Now you didn't create anything, but it's in your feed. And I see it all the time. Certainly in my world of teachers, trainers, authors, and speakers, one of my colleagues will repost, I hope it's my stuff, but other great speakers, trainers, authors about our industry and their material. And I think to myself, good for you, darn it all. That is as simple as clicking a button. And now there's a post for today. You see how you can do 4 posts per day, 7 days a week, to be top of mind? Look, when you want to plug this into one of the social media schedulers, such as Hootsuite and Buffer, those are the ones that I use, not to mention Edgar and Sendable, you can make life super easy for yourself by sitting down on a Saturday or Sunday. I know it's a little bit of time out of your day off time. You could do this at 5 o'clock in the morning, set your alarm a little bit earlier, spend an hour creating this content, and I'll walk you through it in step number 4, where this is personal prospecting and attracting those predetermined buyers, leveraging the media platforms of step number 9, apps and technology, so that you don't always have to be working at this, that this is working for you all the time. in the background. Now, this is live, but I will repurpose this material, make no question, especially if I get your comments, I get your thumbs up, I get anything that says, Bill, this was really great. And please do that. Like, I love language for me is your comments and your support and you telling me that this was worthwhile, this was time spent together really well. I consider those expert reviews, but they're really just customer testimonials too. When you go and get those automotive journalists reviews and you can include your manufacturer's information on that, then pull that in to your feed so that people get a chance to see it as opposed to just using. And then even better, comment back to them. Tell them, hey, this was a great review. Thanks so much. And don't just go, this was a great review, and that's it. That's superficial. That's gobbledygook. That worked 5 years ago. Do this. Hey, that was a really great review. What I liked was that you touched on and explained extremely well and how it is a market differentiator for us and a competitive edge for me selling this product. You imagine what people think when they see that? That is a market differentiator. That's a competitive edge for me selling this product. And they think to themselves, I'm at that point. I've transcended the buyer process. I've thought about it, talked about it. I've done my research. I've seen it in a non-confrontational situation where I can't buy it. Now I want you to sell it to me. That's what the expert review does. Pardon me. Dry throat. Should have had a glass of water here. I didn't. Customer testimonials. We talked about customer testimonials, but video, oh my gosh, isn't that powerful? Wouldn't that be fantastic? Where you take your phone, put it on a stand. I have 2 phone stands. I absolutely love them. When I sit down at my desk, I clip the phone in. I can see any messages that are coming in. It's just not sitting on the desk or tucked away in my pocket or sitting somewhere where I'm not even going to remember where it is. It's sitting right there. You can use this to film a customer testimonial. Now, people are going to be a little awkward on camera. Don't worry about that because we have such robust editing software right in the palm of your hand. You just say to them, look, if you don't mind, I'd like to film a customer testimonial. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to press start. And at that moment in time, press start. Just go ahead and press start. The reason why my thumb's going 2 different places, I'm on 2 different devices, right? Press start and just start talking and then go into your customer testimony. I would think you could be a whole lot more persuasive and you could be much more effective if you script some questions. Write them down. Laminate that piece of paper. Have that with you all the time. And just read right from it the question that you would like to ask him. And here's the secret. Here's the real magical secret. Use your customer experience survey, your customer satisfaction indicator survey questions to get their testimonial. Will they go home and forget to give you completely satisfied? Yep. But when you told them face to face, they say, look, if you don't mind, I'd like to, for my own channel, for my own purposes, film a testimonial. I just want to ask you a couple of questions. And you only ask the questions that relate to you on the customer experience or the customer satisfaction. And that would be invaluable, wouldn't it? You immediately got their reaction. And they're happy. Remember, you're doing 3 presentations when you sell an automobile. The walk-around presentation is a presentation about the product. That makes sense. The demonstration drive is supporting the claims that you made at the walk-around presentation. At the delivery, however, the customer is different. And that's your 3rd presentation. And it's different because the customer actually wants to see you now. They want to hear what you have to say. So when you go after your customer testimonial, when you go after your customer experience, at this point where they really want to hear and learn about their product and what you have to say, they're going to say all the right things too. And that's just a magnificent way for you to populate your content with YouTube. I mean, this is how easy the content is. Here's my favorite, absolute favorite of all time. And I wish I had this when I first started selling automobiles, how-to guides. Now, I don't mean I wish I had the how-to guides. I did have those and made those up myself. Specifically, how to change the time. I'm dating myself here. I'm dating myself horribly. I promised myself I'd never say this again. I've even told my team I won't say this on camera, but I have to. I got to go back to that time. How to change the time on the clock radio. Yeah, as simple as it sounds. for some people. And because the average age of a car is 16 years old, some automobiles out there still need a little bit of manual input in order to make it happening. And guess what? We are coming up on daylight savings time. What an incredible time for you to shoot a video on older product, how to change the clock radio, and then share with them immediately afterwards how we have evolved to today's latest and greatest technology. Remember, a customer will buy for many reasons, but the number one reason I believe is that any automobile shopper will trade in for newer, shiny, faster, of the latest and greatest technology with a totally protected payment of a factory warranty and roadside assistance. It's as easy as that. You shot a how-to guide on something really absolutely amazing. If you sell Teslas, it would be the autopilot feature. If you sell Cadillac, it's going to be the self-driving feature. And as that filters itself out into all other automobile manufacturers, do that. Look, one of my friends, I've known about this for eons. While I was with Ford, we were really enlightened to behind the scenes of there's several stages and levels of this autonomous driving automobile that, for consumers, they just think, why can't the car just drive itself? Why can't I just call it up and pick me up just like Tesla advertises? Well, you could show a guide, just like my friend did, how he stopped at a famous hamburger joint on the side of a highway that people in this particular region would know exactly where it is. And now he's got his hamburger, driving his Denali truck, eating his hamburger, hands off the wheel. Now, I don't think that is actually legal, and I'm not encouraging anybody to do that, and I'm not telling you how to do your video like that. Don't mistake me there. There's the legal boy, legal jargon, disclaimer. Don't do something like that. But you could demonstrate in a very controlled environment how you can take your hands off the wheel. Even lane keep assist will do this on a Honda and an Acura product. People don't get it until they actually see it. And you could create this content so easily for yourself. And then if you really want to amplify it, pour gasoline on that fire. Let's create some heat. Let's create some light. Let's create some action, some excitement. That is where you take it to a low ad paid budget advertising campaign. And on Facebook, it's just as simple as boosting your post. Look, as soon as you start posting, Facebook is going to automatically encourage you to boost this post, reach this many people for this number of dollars. The beauty of the advertising today, especially digitally like this, is that you know exactly what it's going to cost you. It's absolutely magnificent in that capacity. Back in the old days, we would decide on advertising in newspaper, television, or radio, and we'd say, look, this is what our budget is, and we had no idea what we were going to get. We did have the statistics and the reach and the circulation, but you had no real firm idea that it actually landed in somebody's hand. I'm not saying we have that level of definition and perfection with the digital environment as well, but they will actually tell you through their analytics of Meta that this is how many people clicked on it. And then, of course, if there is an open, you'll typically get, and you should always have, a call to action so that you can assure yourself that your efforts aren't in vain. YouTube ads, as I created before, you want to create, let's talk about what to do. Create brief, engaging advertisements that you can do as pre-rolls or in-stream ads. And then, of course, the secret to the boosted post is already going to go to a targeted audience. And that's really easy to do. The YouTube ads, you're going to need to create that audience. The marketplace ads, you will know what your audience is best looking for. And again, you create that audience that you want it to go to. And I can help you with all of that. Don't worry about it all. I'll put the link in the description to a 15-minute discovery call with me where I'll walk you through it. Point blank. You don't have to buy the manifesto. You don't have to give me any money. Just book a time and a call, and in the survey questions, put in there, all I want to know about is how to do a simple little $5 ad per day or a 10-cent ad on YouTube. How does that work, and what could it really add up to? I'll walk you through it. I can share my screen with you via Zoom, and I'll show you the actual screens that you go to and how I go about doing it. And I'll share with you the mistakes that I made. Anyhow, the bottom line is it's super inexpensive. And then, of course, there's the local search engine optimization. And, of course, that is where you leverage your dealership to help you amplify your reach to the audience by engaging with customers that are following the dealership, not necessarily just following you. And of course, getting your reviews on your dealer's website and getting that to the manufacturer's website, because that's where the big budgets are happening. And then your dealer, I'm absolutely certain, is paying through a marketing agency, somebody, to ensure that when they type in regionally, geofence, regionally, your product, their dealership is rising to the top of that top 10 list that appears on Google. This stuff is not really difficult to do. I want to emphasize that. I'm not going to say it's easy. I'm going to be candid with you, but it is not difficult. It is not challenging. Even if you are technology inept, let's go all the way to that nth scale. Challenge me with that you hate technology, can't do technology. If you could mix it up, you would. The last time you went on the internet, it didn't work for anybody afterwards because you mixed it up. If that is you, I can show you, literally in seconds, what you can be doing with that magnificent device that's in the palm of your hand. Like even my mother-in-law, the grandmother to my children, who is post-war generation, has an iPhone and lives by it. And I know this because she reaches out to my spouse every single time Messenger will not open. She can't get her messages out of Messenger, and following along with all of her friends. My mom, rest her soul, wonderful lady, if you were her friend and your children were my age hanging around with me and you didn't have Facebook, they would reach out to my mom and ask her what their kids are doing if she's following them on Facebook and if they have friended her and accepted her request. And she would do that on a regular basis. She would tell them what they were up to and what accomplishments their grandchildren were achieving. And it absolutely astounded me how many of them just resisted it. And they resisted it because of the unknown. This is not daunting. This should not be scary. There is no possible way for these platforms to get as successful as they are by being complicated. The secret is just getting started. And when it comes to posting content, the secret, as Jenna Kuchar, shout out to Jenna Kuchar, she's absolutely amazing. Followed her for a long period of time, have bought her course as well. The secret is done is better than perfection, because it's getting over that hurdle. I don't necessarily agree with her concept, done is better than perfection, but what she's getting us all to do, and she was the early adopter and one of the very first teachers and trainers, very successful on it. She made it look so easy and said, just do it. Press live, go live, film it. And the more you do it, the more accustomed you'll get to it, and you'll build your confidence, and eventually your competence will flow. And that is the competence loop. My name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy. I hope you thoroughly enjoyed this. Again, I will link down below in the comments the opportunity to book a 15-minute strategy session with me. For those of you on Instagram, go to my link tree and you can immediately and quickly get that and click on the link. For those of you on Facebook, I will link down below in the comments of this private members Facebook group to book that 15-minute call. Look, seriously, a 15-minute call could really, really change your life. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope you got a lot out of this. The replay will be available forever, and I will send an email out to everybody as well. For those of you on Instagram that are not part of the Auto Sales Academy, go over to Facebook and join the Auto Sales Academy private members group. However, it is exclusively only available for automobile retail sales people. So as much as I respect the fact that you are very interested in what I have to say, you need to be starting to work in an automobile dealership or currently working in an automobile dealership for us to accept you as a member. Again, my name is Bill Harvey with the Auto Sales Academy. Thank you so much for joining me. Have an absolutely magnificent day, a wonderful week, and for all the Canucks out there, happy Thanksgiving. Talk to you again real soon. Bye-bye for now.